Good morning, Howard.
Morning.
I've been looking at almost all of these newscasts about Ray Rice. Now, I want to start off by saying I don't condone what he did.
But
and the video was it was obnoxious. But she hit him first. But I'm not going to get into that. Why does she have any blame for marrying him after he almost broke her jaw?
Well, I did think about that this morning. I said, how stupid does she feel now that everybody says she was a fiance when he knocked her out, and now she's his wife?
Yeah, well, well, King, I'll stop you right there. You know that battered women have. What do you mean? Come on, what? You don't think she's a battered woman?
I know.
You know that battered women have a slave mentality. You understand this. You've hit your wife.
No, come on.
Well, it's true.
It's more of a victim mentality.
Thank you. That's a better way of putting it. It's a victim mentality that these women have such low self-esteem. You know, they're part of this whole thing, and they have such low self-esteem. Now, any normal person, once they get hit by a man, would go, goodbye. That's it. It's over. But when you have low self-esteem and you have a victim, now I'm not talking about some little instance. This is a psychological condition where you think you deserve to be beaten, or you don't deserve any better in life, or I'll never be able to get love from anybody. And some victims actually think this is love.
Right, because their
being
history
paid attention to
has been to see love transferred
Absolutely.
that way. The people who love them beat them.
So this woman is ill. Don't get me wrong. She's ill. She's compliant in this whole thing. But she's completely ill. I mean, in the same way that someone has a mental illness. So, no, she's not to blame.
Oh, not at all?
Not at all.
All right. Okay. So what you're telling me is that Ray Rice doesn't love her. That's what you're saying?
No.
Well, I can't tell you what Ray Rice is thinking, but
he loves her.
I'll tell you this, and by the way, enough people have written about this and said it, so it's and I happen to agree with it, but there's no point in repeating it, but I will, just in case there's two people who haven't discussed this, that I agree that the NFL, the man it was reported he had beaten his wife and this and that, it was all true, and it wasn't until the video was released. They had suspended him for 2 games, which is a slap on the wrist.
Well, the video that had been released before was him dragging her down the hall, and that was a 2-game suspension.
Look, if somebody in my organization, if there was this kind of abuse going on, I couldn't work with that person. I mean, I couldn't. I get it.
So they, and now everybody's saying that, TMZ actually is reporting that they knew about this other video long before yesterday.
Oh, of course.
When this happened,
that's because he's a good football player.
Of course. Well, listen, great football players. And by the way, what happens in the fantasy football league if you had Ray Rice?
Tough, done.
What do you mean?
You drop him.
You drop him, and then you
got
get
to drop
another guy.
another player. But what happened is,
what are you talking about?
He has no more stats. He's not playing.
He's not playing this season.
What are you saying, King?
Yeah, but he's stopping them from some morality bullshit.
He is not playing another game this season.
No, he can't be in the fantasy league if he's not playing.
Yeah, Gary's saying so I can hear it in his voice. It's because he doesn't condone.
No. Ray, you're not understanding what fantasy football is. If you're not playing, you get no stats. You got to have players.
Yeah, but I understand that. But when I heard Gary's voice, it sounded like he was.
Yeah, don't.
But King, what are you saying? You're defending a guy who beats. Not only did he beat her, he knocked her out and dragged her. He dragged her out of the elevator.
I started off by saying I don't condone it, but I cannot get it out of my mind that she has something she has some blame in this. She has it.
What's her blame?
No question.
She hung out with Ray Rice.
So she's victimized twice.
That she passed out. She should have stayed awake, and then it wouldn't have looked so bad.
Take a punch.
She's got a point there, Rob.
She can't take a punch.
Howard, there's a guy on ESPN that got suspended because he said that women have to learn not to provoke guys.
Right, yeah.
Stephen A. Smith and
how long could King hold on to a broadcast job? Probably 2 seconds.
Yeah, and by the way, when he said,
but by the way, King, I mean, you have the abusive mentality, so you're not going to understand this.
No. What I'm saying is, all I'm simply saying is, if there's a drug addict, if I know a drug addict, he lives in my house, and I sell drugs, and I sell it to him, aren't I enabling him?
Yes.
Okay.
So what has that got to do with her?
Right.
Because if she stays with him, she's telling him it's okay.
No, but you don't. You just heard
No.
Howard go through a whole explanation that she has a mental issue.
If you have a retarded person
mental
living in
issue
your
is that
house,
she
but
loves
if you
you.
have a retarded person living in your house, King, and then you take that person and you are sexually inappropriate with them, you start fingering them, and you know, but they have the mentality of a 6-year-old. You're doing something wrong. Agreed?
No, that's different. For one.
Why?
For one.
She's just as retarded. You know, she has.
She should know better.
She's as ill, or not ill. I don't know how to put it, but she has a condition just like the retarded person.
So say
He's
you
taking
met
advantage of her.
Well, say you met her, she never went with Ray Rice. She's a pretty girl, and you went out on a date with her. You would never know she wasn't seen mental ill.
What do you think? This is the first time you said her?
No, it's not. No, it's no woman that I ever known.
I don't even. You know, listen.
Why
I
are we
know
having
what
this
he's- I know what he's
discussion?
going
It's
for.
crazy.
You're being controversial, but I'm not sure I know what you're saying.
I'm not trying to be controversial. I thought of this ever since I was a kid. I was like, why does this woman stay with him?
Here's what I can say. Can I say that to King of All Blacks? You hit women, so there's no way that you can have because it's true. You can't have an unbiased opinion on this. You hit a woman.
You empathize with the abuser.
I'm off of drugs.
Well, ask yourself, why did your wife stay with you?
Right.
Because she loves me.
But what is it? But isn't she enabling you? You could do it again.
Oh, I never did it again.
But if you did it again, whose fault is it? Yours or hers?
Pause.
It's her fault. No, it's my fault.
Yeah, I think you mean it's her fault.
She should know better.
King, I gotta go. That's all right.
Simple question before you go. Simple. If I come home, and I'm not like that, but I'm just giving an example. If I come home and say, oh, I'm going to wear my pink polo shirt today, I need it ironed. If she doesn't iron it, and I hit her because she didn't iron it, shouldn't she have ironed the shirt so she could have prevented that?
Oh, just get off the phone, King.
No, I'm serious.
Now he's funny.
I
You're
gotta
funny,
go,
dude.
King. You're out of your fucking mind.
Howard, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something real quick.
By the way, why do you wear pink shirts?
Not a
And you know that's probably what he beat his wife
looks
for.
good in a pink shirt.
If she just does her ironing, she won't get hit. You're right. If she's perfect, she won't get hit. Oh, King, you're a genius. All right, I gotta go. You're being so silly.
I just want to tell you real quick.
Right.
You know that the S500, the S550 Mercedes already has